Hi everyone, it's Margaret here with 60 and Me. Hope you're doing great today wherever you are, and want to thank you for being here. Today's video is about a topic related to space and the distance that we're having to establish between ourselves these days. That 6 degrees of separation is now 6 feet of separation, socially distanced, and it's very challenging. And I wanted to share with you, though, how that 6 degrees of separation is actually being redefined in a positive way, and how we can actually use this time where we have to create a little bit of distance between ourselves in a positive and uplifting and inspiring way. Now, 60 and Me is a community of women who are aging beautifully, over 60, and by that time, I think we've actually come to grips with how to deal with challenges in our lives and how to be tenacious and have resilience. And one of our bloggers, Jan Moore, lives in Canada, I believe, and she is surrounded by nature and wrote an article which I want to develop around how to take this time of separation and distance to really contemplate and appreciate the space between us, which is now becoming, in a way, non-existent. We are all in this together. So while we may be not able to touch each other as much as before and give those hugs that we all love, we've actually got a reduction of the distance because we're all on a journey with this COVID virus together. Now, I think the movie was with Kevin Bacon about 6 degrees of separation, where you could actually, if you took 6 handshakes, you could meet anybody in the world. You could actually connect. But now it's just escalated and amplified. And with the internet and COVID-19 pandemic, we are more connected than ever. So let's go back for a second. She talks about a book by Thoreau called Walden Pond. And I don't know whether he was doing this in reaction to something that was going on in the world or in his life, but Thoreau decided to go back to nature, to a place called Walden Pond, and actually just kind of reduce his relationship with the people world, with humanity, but can reconnect with nature. And I think it's a really powerful book. She talks a little bit about how, in a way, time was frozen for him. And he wrote this book about how the nurturing nature around us is a way of actually plugging into ourselves, and to live in simple, natural surroundings gave us a strength and an inner direction that we could then focus on the essential needs of life, and then, complement everything else. And I think, I don't know about you guys, but for me, when the first lockdown happened back in March, I learned about what was essential in my life. Now, I'm not so much a gatherer, but and I don't carry a lot of extra supplies in the house, but I realized after a couple of months how much there were certain things that were more important to me than anything in the world. I've mentioned this in a previous video, that my little grandson's birthday happened in April, and I didn't have any candles. And of course, I was able to find some tea lights, and we compromised. But it was just, I realized how important my family was, how important the little details were. And maybe that's what now connects us, is that we don't have to, worry about connecting to 6 or 7 people that we have aspirations to meet or to achieve certain things. We know that the distance between our needs and our desires and reality is actually much, much smaller now. Okay, so we now are in a state of being, in a state of living where we can't travel. We cannot go to our local cafes, theater productions, movies. Everything is closed. And even though in many parts of the world right now there are no official lockdowns, we are all trying our best to stay close to home. When we go out into public, to wear a mask. And this is just my own personal belief system that helps. It helps not only with the actual virus, in my opinion, but it actually sends a message that I care about you. I care about myself and my health. And it's just a sign that we're kind of doing something positive to help each other. So, we're only a breath away really from each other now, not even 6 feet. Now, go back to the book by Walden, by Thoreau, this book called Walden, on Walden Pond. Has anybody read that? If you have, and it influenced you and it's given you some strength during this time, or any other book for that matter, please let us know, because here in this community, these are dynamic videos. These are not videos I'm preaching or trying to teach you anything. In many ways, they're just conversations, and they're giving you ideas of how to deal with this very challenging time that we're all facing. So let's talk about the simplicity, the voluntary simplicity that Thoreau went into, but the involuntary simplicity that maybe we're all facing. I remember when we first got started on this journey, we were all trying to live a more simple life, maybe making our own bread, cooking our own soups, trying to do things that were a little bit more, I don't know, just more straightforward and less complicated. We didn't have to buy special ingredients. We just made do. Also, a lot of people did things like, and Jan mentions this in the article, of supporting local artists, local creators, and that sense that we wanted to buy things from the farmer, and the involuntary simplicity became part of our lives, part of the way that we did. And it just kind of supported the whole idea that there were more important things in our lives than creating, a necessary, need for stuff. It was more about the quality of our lives. And I think that was really important. I don't know about you, but I know that when I was in, sort of going into this not really desirable voluntary simplicity, I did actually start to enjoy it. And I actually did go more deeply and into the natural world. I looked forward to that 1 mile that I could go around my house and walk, that that nature kind of just kept going despite it all. And that's how it's happening now too. We're entering the autumn and the winter season, and it's getting a little different now. There's not so much color in nature. The leaves have lost their leaves, and in many places it's snowing. But I think we found that now when we go out, we're not looking for the glamour of it all. We're looking for the simplicity of it, the simple messages that nature gives us. And how are we doing this? Well, as I mentioned, cooking our own food, creating our own environment, making our own clothes perhaps, making our own masks, doing things that involve skills that we can share with the world or share with our friends, and also things that they can share with us. So supporting local businesses, supporting local farmers. How many of you are doing that now? How many have discovered that's what you want to do with your money? You want to give it to someone local. And I know a lot of local businesses are really struggling with these lockdowns and these closures because they don't have the online infrastructure that a lot of the large companies like Amazon and, the Alibabas of the world have to offer us. So I think it's really important, in my opinion, that we support local. Because I think that the point here is that we can remain connected in many different ways. How many are using Zoom? I do 2 Zoom calls every single day. One is with a group that, one is with a group that I meet every single day, and the other is one that I do. And we're doing this thing called the Lockdown Lounge with a Smile for people who are part of our Patreon supporters group and who want to just get together, talk about how we are connected, things that we're doing in common, things that we're doing individually, just the fun stuff that we're up to. And then the other one is a group of people that I meet every single day. And at 5 o'clock, I get my cup of tea and I sit down, and it's just like faces. I can see people. We laugh, we cry sometimes, we just share our stories. And for me, that 6 degrees of separation is now 1 degree, just one step, one Zoom link, and we're there talking to other people. And knowing as we're doing that we're actually connecting with the world. There's not a person in the world that's not thinking about COVID and thinking about how to stay healthy and how to stay close to family. It's just the way that we are living right now, just 1 degree of separation. So as Jen, concludes her article, and I'll put the link down below so you can take a look at it, because it's a lovely article. It's very positive and helpful in finding ways to get into that simplicity, that voluntary simplicity, and enjoy what we have to offer. Humanity is unified now. I just think by even saying those words gives me goosebumps. Yes, we've got different cultures. We have different celebrations, different priorities. But at the heart of it all, we are holding hands, walking together in this journey, walking hopefully towards a vaccine, walking towards a time when we can be happy. But it doesn't necessarily always have to do with the virus. It's, I think, an evolution that's taking place towards community. There's more going on in the world in the way of co-housing, co-living, people just sharing their lifestyles and their talents and skills together, and also just saving money, just being on being with like-minded people. I think that's super powerful. And so I'd love to know what you're doing. I mean, if this, Jan talks about this butterfly effect, that like if you have a butterfly doing something in one part of the world, it affects everything else and you can't go back, you have to just move forward. But what are you doing? Are you deciding that voluntary simplicity is the way to go, that it's no longer being enforced on you, but it's your choice to live a simpler, healthier, happier, more loving, kind existence? What are you doing to do that? Are you finding nature is a great healer for you? I'd love to hear your comments and conversation, and please leave your thoughts and feedback below. And if you see a comment that resonates with you, like that comment, say hi to that person. Let's join hands here on YouTube, on all of our other 60andMe channels. And if you are here on YouTube and you haven't subscribed, please do that for me. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe, because that allows YouTube to spread the word further. It just helps their algorithm to know there's something important being discussed here. So take care, everybody. I hope that you have a lovely day. I hope that you can get out into nature, or that at the minimum you can just start to embrace this new lifestyle that you have adopted and doing it willingly and happily and sharing with others. Take really good care of yourself. Stay strong and stay healthy. Stay positive and calm. And we'll talk all again really soon, but have a really wonderful day, everybody. Take care.